I came into CCAS with so many interests, from migration to gender and sexuality studies, labor questions, colonialism and its continuing impact. As I continued taking Arab studies classes, I realized that there has always been this question in the back of my mind that I never got to explore academically, which is the recruitment of Moroccans to work in coal mines following World War II. This interest started because my grandfather was actually a coal miner in France, and I never got to do his oral history and I never got to talk to him while he was still alive, but I just always had so many questions about how this migration was orchestrated, who was involved, why did they recruit Moroccans specifically from southern Amazigh villages. I got to make it my thesis project. I first visited the diplomatic archives in Paris. I went to the north of France, which is the coal mining region, and I got to work with the actual coal mining company documents and sort of just try to trace the Moroccans in those documents. How were they brought in? Where did they live? What type of work were they assigned? After those archival visits, I went to Morocco and I just started talking to some family members who are still alive and asked them what was it like to work in the mines. Moroccan textbooks don't recognize this history and it's really hard to trace. As much as it's an academic project, it's also a very personal project for me. CCAS does a really good job at teaching how connected the Arab world is, North Africa and the Middle East, to other parts of the world through history, through culture, through so many movements. But at the same time, our professors always remind us that you can never generalize, which I think a lot of students of this region and people who write about this region do, and they tend to homogenize a lot of parts of the region as if it's one place stuck in time. So I think that's something I always think about, even as someone who grew up in Morocco. There are so many languages, so many ethnic groups, so many religious groups that the center focuses on that might not be legible to people who just read Arab studies. So I just want to emphasize that Arab studies is so much more than just a region or one identity. One of the best things about CCAS is the people and the students. I met so many classmates from all over and I'm constantly learning from them, and it's such a pleasure to be able to collaborate with students. And a few of us are working on a podcast project called Shukaman, and it's a student-led project under CCAS, where we're trying to bring academics to people in a more accessible way, ask them about their research, but also ask them about their experiences. I'm really proud and happy to be able to work on such a project at CCAS. CCAS does a good job in teaching its students that you can bring this very critical academic knowledge to the career space, to the workplace, and figure out ways to apply it.